welcome back or welcome to the channel if you're new. So today I'm going to be doing my last Halloween DIY for 2022. I'm going to be building a fence and a sign because the fence that I originally wanted, which is being sold at Michael's by Lemax, I ordered it online to have it picked up in store, but the lady said that it wasn't in stores, so they had to cancel my order. And then I checked another store. All of these stores on michaels.com, by the way, said that they had a limited stock, but they should have just updated the site. And I was like, because they were supposed to have it where you could pick it up in store, I would not be able to order it online and have to pay for shipping. Know that I would have been able to get it free in store if they had it. So I skipped out on it. I'm going to be building my own, and that's that. I already cut them up off camera. All of these wood pieces that I'm showing in this video today are from the Dollar Tree. I think everything that I'm using today is from the Dollar Tree, actually, except for the paints, of course. Like I said before, they're from Apple Barrel. But yeah, all of these wood pieces. And I'm going to be putting together these wood sticks. This is like the popsicle stick method to building a wood fence. Now, I'm not going to be doing the original way of building a fence with popsicle sticks, but I'm going to be changing it up to look more scary like, you know? And I did hot glue them together. These are the 3 wood signs that are going to be the star of the show. They say Wicket on them, and I love like the font of it. It kind of looks like Wonka, Willy Wonka, like the W, but it also has a witch's hat on it. And I'm going to be starting off with the Craft Smart Neon Green paint. Now this one is from Michael's, I think. So they're all acrylic paints. By the way, I think I said earlier that Apple Barrel paint was from Apple Barrel. No, I actually bought it at Walmart, but it is by Apple Barrel. So I'm going to start off by painting the first Wicket sign neon green. And also I'm going to be painting them on the other side off camera. So anything that I paint on the front is going to be pretty much painted on the back, but maybe simplified. So if I add a design or something to the front of the sign, I'm not going to add the design on the back. For the next sign, I'm going to be using the Apple Barrel paint in the shade Concord Grape. This is more of a purple color. Well, it is purple, that's why it's called grape. But I'm going to be using this color, and I think that this is the type of purple that I wanted. I wanted like a blue purple, but I couldn't find it in the Apple Barrel line, well, what they had at Walmart, because they pretty much, when I bought these paints, were selling out of like all the shades. That's also something that I ordered on, well, planned on ordering online at Walmart. And let me tell you, I went to 2 different Walmarts. Both Walmarts would have been sold out of the paints that I would have ordered online. So that would have been another store that would have had to cancel my order. These stores really, really need to update their sites, because what's the point of having the option to pick up in store if every order is going to have to be canceled because they don't update the sites to keep you informed if something is really not in stock. For the last sign, I'm going to be making this one black, but I am going to be adding glitter on top of this as well. The glitter I'm going to be using is like a black with specks of silver in it. So I'm going to sprinkle that on top of it. This is the glitter skull that I'm going to be inspiring this sign by. So this glitter skull, you can see it's like a dark gray silver, and I have a glitter that's exactly this same color because it came from the Dollar Tree. The skull came from the Dollar Tree, and the packs of glitter came from the Dollar Tree. So I'm pretty sure whoever at the Dollar Tree created these crafts, they used that glitter because I have the exact same shade. But I'm going to be going a little bit darker. Look at how cute the Wicket sign is after it's been left on the paper. Now I'm going to be mixing together the black Apple Barrel paint and the territorial beige to make that that deep beigey tone. And I'm going to be painting the fence signs now. Well, not the fence signs, the actual wood fence pieces that I created in the X shape. I don't know, what other color do fences usually have, especially witchy type of fences? So black, I think all black. Yeah, I wanted something a little bit different from that. Now that all of the signs are dry front and back, I'm going to start painting the detail into the sign. So starting off with the Apple Barrel paint in the shade Country Gray, I'm going to paint the witch's hat all gray. and I am going to be painting over the glitter. What I did was when I painted everything, I messed up and painted the hats that same color too. Every hat is going to be a different color from what you see right now. And you can always use that double layer anyway. And the coolest part about the glitter being under this gray is that when it dries, it's going to look like a wave throughout the witch's hat. Also, I'm making sure to curve around that loop in the W. For the neon green, I'm going to paint that hat all black. I'm going to go in and add the details to the hats later. And then for the last Wicket sign, the purple one, I'm going to be painting that all black too. I was kind of stuck on these two hats, on those, the neon green and purple Wicket signs, what colors, but I was like, let me just go with black on that and then the gray on the other Wicket sign. While the hats dry, to add back in some more detail on the signs itself, I'm going to be starting off with the Apple Barrel Kelly Green paint, taking the sponge that I got from the Dollar Tree, and since this green is darker than the neon one I went in with, I'm going to be dabbing that on the sides. This is going to give some depth and dimension into the sign so that it's not just like one flat color. And I'm going to focus this on the, not the sides of the sign, but you know, like on the outer parts of the word so that it kind of fades into the neon green. I'm going to go back over it with a little bit of the neon green paint just so it blends together better that way. For this hat, I'm going to be painting it purple across the little strip of it. And I'm also going to curve the purple, not so it's like a straight line, but it gives just, I don't know, like some sort of effect, like it's, the hat is scrunched up. Well, since it's scrunched over to the side, it has to look like it's scrunched in some way. For the purple Wicket sign, I'm going to be doing the same thing, painting it a strip across there, curving it, the purple. But with this one, I'm going to be adding some purple glitter. Now, this purple glitter is so pretty. It has some blue specks in it, which would have went perfect if I had a more blue tone purple paint on it. For the green one, I'm just going back in with a little bit more of that darker green color, and I'm going to, in small taps, just dab a little bit onto the hat, just to add like green specks. Like I said, I think these hats was just missing something extra, and I didn't really know what to put, so that's all I did. For the purple Wicket sign, I took the gray paint and did the same thing with the hat, just tapped it in little dabbing motions around it. Again, for this one, I didn't know what color to use, but I thought that the gray fit pretty well with the purple. They're both like cool tone colors. For the last black and glitter Wicket sign, I'm going to be taking the black paint this time and doing a line across that. And then I'm also going to be adding some black glitter on top of that line. Now, this black glitter, I think that it has a little bit of maybe red specks in it. I couldn't tell if it was just mixing it with another red paint that I had like right next to it, or if it really does have black red paint, red glitter, and that black glitter. And then for the purple Wicket sign, I'm going to be taking some black paint and stippling that around the purple. See, I told you, like, that's how you know that I was struggling to figure out what to do with them, because I was really jumping around with these signs. But like I said in the other video, that's how I do it. That's how I get the best results. When you jump around instead of sticking to one thing at a time, you get an idea of what you would want something to look like later on. I went ahead and took the fences that I created, dabbed some gray paint on top of most of them, and then also dabbed some green paint only on 4 of them because I'm going to be adding some moss later on to the 4 that has green on it. For the Wicket sign, you can look at how shiny it is. What I did was I took the Mod Podge and gloss and I painted over it so the glitter wouldn't go anywhere, and it left it really shiny, and the glitter is not moving around either. So make sure you either spray your Mod Podge or paint it over your glitter projects. I'm just going to keep this part in a little bit of it so you can see how much I struggled to figure out how I wanted to create these signs. The fence, I could not get it to stand up for nothing. I tried gluing the pieces together and it's like nothing was working, and I spent hours trying to figure out what to do. So I ended up keeping this part on camera, and the actual finished product of the fence, I ended up doing it off camera because it was so, I just took so much time. And like I said before, my head, everything would have been in a way because I was like getting into detail trying to figure out what to do. But I'll explain everything step by step. So I do have this idea that I want the first sign, the Wicket sign, to go in the middle, the green sign to go on the left, and then the purple to go on the right. But I want the black sign to be able to open. So I'm taking these are the necklaces that I got from the Dollar Tree, four in a pack with the skull and the bone. So I'm taking one of the bones, sticking it to one side of the fence, and then sticking the other side of the bone to the Wicket sign, and that's going to help me to be able to open the fence in a way. And I'm also sticking it behind the hat so it doesn't really show that much. You want to be able to conceal it as much as possible. In the end, this is what I came up with, and I honestly think that it's a great dupe for the original one from Lemax that I wanted. I think that I did a pretty good job getting it close enough. So I'm going to go around and just explain what I did piece by piece. So what I did was those pieces that you see that are boxed together, that's just the popsicle sticks. What I did was I cut them, boxed them together to be able to stick inside of the piece that it's sticking into. So that brown piece that you see, that's just floral foam that I painted brown. On the top, I just inserted the bat ring that I have. Those two little balls that you see that's connecting the Wicket sign to the next part of the fence, that's another part of the necklace, just connecting it from there so that it could curve. Because if you glued it together, it wouldn't be able to curve the way it is. And then the next piece is just that black one is just the little kid that you can, the little statue that you can get from the set that you get with the Dollar Tree dollhouse. Oh my god, I couldn't even say that. The big bat on top is just the clip on. I just needed to put that bat somewhere. I really love this part right here where I glued the necklace part to the fence, and I took the floral wire, hooked it to the back of the bone, which the bone from the necklace is glued onto the Wicket sign, and then the wires glued on the other side to hook into the other side of the fence. So what I did was I took another piece of the floral wire and just hooped it and glued it onto there so that it can easily just come up, and then you can open the fence up. Moving on to the sign itself. So I got this branch from the Dollar Tree. It is just a silver glitter branch. I showed in a short that I tried to spray Mod Podge on top of it, and it would have took so much Mod Podge to try to spray this glitter, so I just left it alone. The bottom of it does come with a long hard wire. I already pulled that out. I tried to bend it and I was like, why is this moving? So you can actually pull it out, so that's what I did. I'm going to be taking that floral foam, and see, this is the foam that I used earlier to just cut a square, paint it brown, and stick the box popsicles in to help the fence stand. So this time I'm going to be cutting it into a square shape again, and this is going to be the base to the tree that I'm using as a sign. I decided to go with the green moss for this part instead of the brown Spanish moss. I just thought that the green was better fitting because I'm going to also paint the floral after, but I'm going to start off with covering as much of the base as possible with the moss, but only covering it all the way around at the top and halfway towards the bottom. I'm pulling out the Apple Barrel paint in Chestnut. This is a warm tone brown. I think it's more of like a red undertone. And I'm going to start off by painting the rest of the floral with this brown. It's more like a wood color brown rather than that territorial beige that I've been using so much. I'm finally switching up the brown tone paint. Isn't it looking like a chia pet? Now, to give an even greater wood-like effect, I'm going to be taking that sponge, some black paint, and just dabbing a little bit of the black on top of this. Not too much, I don't want it to be full coverage, so that's why I'm going in with the sponge. So I actually filmed this earlier, which is why you see the fence pieces laying in the background. When I went off camera to let the bottom half dry, I painted half of the tree that territorial beige color because I thought it looked more woodsy that way. So I left the other half of it with the silver glitter that it came with, just so if you wanted to switch it around on one side, you can have the tree on the other side. Moving on to the actual signs itself. So I got this crafter um, chalk pen at the Dollar Tree. This is a hot mess, okay? There's no other word for it. I tried to use it. You can see how much it smudges. They made the part that you're supposed to write with really, really thick. So what I did was I tried to shave it around to make it thinner. So that's why it's all over my fingers. It's more of a cream than an actual like chalk. You know, chalk is usually like that powdery formula. And then you can erase it with a erase board eraser. This one, you have to use water and I think soap to, no, not soap, just water to remove it. The whole thing is a mess the way they created it. They should just throw this away and start over because no one's going to be able to use this. That's why there were so many left at the Dollar Tree. I'm so disappointed in the way this was made. The boards are nice because they are chalk boards, but you would need the chalk to write with, right? So anyway, after this smudged, I'm just going to hot glue some floral wire to the back of it that I curved. And you see that curve shape that I made? That's how I did it on the fence to hook the Wicket sign up to the other box part of the fence. I knew that floral wire was going to come in handy sometime soon. And I'm going to be gluing it to all of them. This first sign is called Witch's Lair. And by the way, do you see the way I spelled layer? I spelled it as in like you're stacking something on top of something. It was supposed to be, I think, layer spelled Lair. That's the type of layer I was supposed to have, but it's too late. And then witches is ES, and I did apostrophe S. It's like, no, I need to throw the whole thing away. But I'm not buying anything else for Halloween. This is it. And now what I'm just doing is hot gluing some moss around the signs. This is just also going to add to the spooky effect. At first it started looking like a bird's nest, but I was like, oh, I gotta like cut some of them pieces off and just make it thicker or thinner in certain in certain areas. For the next sign, this is going to be called Hector's Way, and it's going to be pointing in the opposite direction. So the witch's lair had an arrow pointing towards the right. The Hector's Way will have an arrow at the bottom pointing towards the left. The last sign is called Bone Daddy Den Straight Ahead, which is taking inspiration from Wrong Turn Dead Ahead, those horror movies. With this one, the reason why certain parts of the writing looks opaque is because I took the white paint to paint over it and then I had to use black paint to clean it up. The words started looking as one because there were so many that I had to write with that chalk. And then for the other pieces, I just took some moss and glued it onto the fence part, which was very simple to do. I know my camera and lighting is not doing any of the glitter justice. This was definitely the hardest one for me out of the other three DIYs. This one just took so much more time and thought. Good, I had every piece that I needed to execute this the way I needed to do. And it's very similar to the one I wanted, which makes me extra happy. For me, this one is a little bit better for the style that I was going for. The one from Michael's looks a little bit more like a graveyard fence, and I rather have something like this for what the type of style that I was going for. I forgot to do it on camera, but you can see on the tree I just added some of the fake webs, and also on the fence I added some of the green moss to those wood pieces.